This is MTV News for Tuesday, 6th April 2021. In the headlines, more than 30 arrested over Easter holiday. One man remains hospitalized after accident in St. John. Antigua Commercial Bank officially begins operations amid industrial protests. And in sports, call for more female table tennis players as Grenada celebrates World Table Tennis Day. The details to these and more after the break.
Every action we take impacts the lives of others around us. The Grenada Community Partnership Initiative, GCPI, has been working with Grenadian organizations to impact communities directly. Giving back to communities we serve is fundamental to the way we do business. And every year, more lives are touched across Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. In education, sports, health, infrastructure, social services, and beyond.
The first segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with GUT Cooperative Credit Union. It's where you belong.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Welcome back to the news. I'm Troy Gill. Police are concerned about breaches of the COVID-19 regulations as more than 30 arrests were made over the weekend. The officers had their hands filled, from breaches in regulations to fights, stabbing and chopping. Rachel Bain has more.
The Royal Grenada Police Force is reporting a not-so-quiet weekend as several arrests were made specifically with breaches to the COVID-19 regulations. In 2020, Grenadians were unable to gather and celebrate Easter outdoors due to COVID-19. At the time, the country was on lockdown. However, in 2021, while a 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. curfew is still implemented, they were allowed to have some fun. Was it too much? The RGPF is saying yes, as large gatherings were noticed on several beaches, which is contrary to the COVID-19 regulations. According to Corporal of Police attached to the Community Relations Department, Cordina Douglas McLean, several businesses were forced to cease operations.
4 businesses in particular were shut down. 2 of them, they were granted permission to operate. The other 2, they were not granted permission to operate. And they had to be shut down because they exceeded the allotted amount of patrons for public gatherings. These business owners were also notified that charges will be preferred against them. And one in particular of concern to us was a gathering at Tivoli in St. Andrew, where that activity had in excess of 500 persons in attendance. No permission for this activity, nor was permission granted for playing of amplified music at that activity.
Corporal McLean also indicated that there was a chopping incident in St. Andrew which left one man with a severed arm, while there was a stabbing on H.A. Blaze Street which left the victim hospitalized as well. While there was no arrest made, the matters are still under investigation. Police continue their search for both perpetrators. Corporal McLean added that charges were also laid against the 2 young women who were seen fighting on social media.
In relation to 2 young ladies who were seen fighting in a video over the weekend, both individuals were also arrested and charged for fighting in a public place and causing harm.
She says more than 30 people were charged for violating the COVID-19 regulations.
32 COVID violation tickets were issued, and a number of business owners and other individuals were notified, and they are expected to be charged for several breaches under the regulation.
Corporal McLean added that apart from those issues, the police were challenged as they managed a large crowd on Bathway Beach.
In relation to Bathway area specifically, our main concern, our main challenge for that area was the large gatherings, large crowds at that venue, at that vicinity. Issues with traffic control and so on was not of major concern to us.
For MTV News, Rachel Bain.
Underage drinking was also observed over the long weekend. And while the police cracked down on this problem, Superintendent Vanny Kerwin stresses that while parents are responsible for their children's safety, everybody has a role to play in the upbringing of a child.
There seems to be an increase in the number of bus tours around the island. According to officer in charge of the Community Relations Department, Superintendent Vanny Kerwin, with this new trend, there are growing concerns about the consumption of alcohol and also breaches in the COVID-19 regulations. According to Superintendent Kerwin, the behavior of these young people is nothing like he has seen before. He says he believes the consumption of alcohol is a contributing factor to that behavior.
The behavior that we are seeing is different than the behavior that we are accustomed to. Alcohol, for these people, the way they handle it is different than what we have seen in the past. There's a lot of wild behavior that is not common to our young people in Grenada, and that is concerning us. Some of these buses have young children on them, and you can clearly see that they are minors that travel on these bus trips, and they stop in different parts of the island and engage in behaviors that are unbecoming, and in most parts some of them are illegal. And so over the particular weekend, this Easter weekend, I know this challenge has surfaced, and one or two of these buses were dealt with, and a number of the behaviors were also dealt with. I can't say specifically whether there were any arrests coming out of these incidents, but I know law enforcement presence were required to be able to calm some of these situations.
Superintendent Kerwin says parents have an obligation to their children, and that includes their safety.
Far too often, parents leave the parenting of the children to law enforcement or to teachers. And some parents sit in the back and expect the teachers to parent the children and the police to parent the children. But it starts at home. You, at least as a parent, should know where your son or daughter is on any given time, particularly if they are minors. And we have seen a few minors in some of these bus trips. And so you should know where your kids are. You should authorize or approve the outing. And for some reason, if you do not know where they're going initially, I'm sure Grenada is small, and at some point you will get to know that they were on a particular bus trip. And as a parent, your parenting skills need to kick in. Accountability needs to kick in.
He says everybody has a responsibility, including the teachers and police, but most importantly, the parents.
You can't leave your children, to be policed by the police force or by the school. We all share the responsibility for bringing up children in our society. Teachers have a responsibility, parents have a responsibility, law enforcement have a responsibility, but it starts at the home. And so I do not want to go to say that we are now seeing a lot of delinquent parents, but it's appearing as though that is the issue, because when a young child, 15, 14, 13, could find themselves on a bus trip and get drunk, it says something about what is happening in the home.
For MTV News, Rachel Bain.
5 days following a vehicular accident that occurred in an area in St. John known as Mabuya, officials say one man remains hospitalized but in stable condition. MTV spoke to Officer Peter Noel attached to Guav Police Station, who said investigations into the cause of the accident continue. Donella Hosten reports.
On Thursday evening around 7 p.m., police at the Guav Police Station responded to a call from an individual who was in distress after the vehicle he was in ran off the road in an area known as Mabuya in St. John. MTV spoke to Officer Peter Noel attached to Guav Police Station, who gave a brief account of what was witnessed upon arrival at the scene.
We met an individual who seemed to be struggling to climb up a rock. On arrival, we were the only person there at the time. No assistance. The lighting was very bad. However, we managed to get those persons out of the vehicle. 3 individuals were taken out of the vehicle and brought to the hospital via police motor vehicles.
According to Noel, the 3 male occupants of the white Escudo were rescued and subsequently taken to the General Hospital in a police vehicle. 2 of the passengers were released shortly thereafter. However, the driver of the vehicle remains hospitalized to date.
Two of the individuals were discharged thereafter, being x-rayed. There weren't much injuries. However, the driver of that vehicle, Shem Baptiste of Latan St. David, he was admitted at the General Hospital.
The cause of the accident remains unknown, but according to Officer Noel, they are investigating the matter. Although the Easter weekend is over, Officer Noel made a clarion call to the general public to be wary on the nation's roads.
I would like to advise the public, though, that around this time of year are times when most persons get themselves into motor vehicle accidents. The accident rate have risen a lot around this time of year. So we are asking persons to be mindful of that and keep the speeding on a low, because most of these accidents are due to speeding. Not saying that this one is, based on the area, it may not be. We haven't had enough time to investigate that far as yet. But we're just advising persons to wear their seatbelts at all times and avoid the speeding.
As the story unfolds, MTV will keep you abreast. Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Houston.
The acting political leader of the National Democratic Congress says illegal immigrants entering the country is a failure of the government. He says more investments should be made in keeping our borders safe.
The Commissioner of Police, Edwin Martin, at last Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing, says a number of illegal immigrants have entered the island. In an update on the matter, Superintendent of Police Vanny Cohen says illegal immigrants coming in our country raise many concerns, especially during COVID-19.
The last information that we have released on those immigrants remain the same. They have been remanded at Richmond Hill Prison, waiting for deportation arrangements to be made so that they can be deported to their respective homelands. And as we raise the point of deportation, that this is a concern for us. We are seeing, quite a large number of illegal immigrants are coming into our countries, not using the authorized and approved port of entries. And so they are coming through the various bays and creeks, because our borders are very porous. That raises concern for us. Not only the fact that they are illegal, but the fact that we do not know where they are coming from and we do not know what they are bringing into Grenada. And that's why even if we have no active case on the island, we keep saying wearing of masks become a priority. Because among ourselves we might be safe, but with the influx of these illegal immigrants bringing whatever they're bringing into the country and exposing all of us to it, we can have another outbreak just like that.
Responding to the Prime Minister's recent speech, acting political leader Adrian Thomas says the government should be at fault for any illegal immigrants entering our country.
The statement by the Prime Minister that there are illegal persons in the country is of grave concern to the NDC. It points to yet another failure of the Prime Minister as the Minister of National Security. In this period, it is his responsibility to keep us safe within our borders. Rather than traffic lights, why not invest more in keeping our borders safe?
He says his party is willing to work with the government to help with any solutions, especially during this pandemic.
By this admission, the Prime Minister told us that government is not taking the necessary actions to protect the population and must therefore take full responsibility for persons entering the country illegally. As a responsible organization, our party likes to offer solutions. Brothers and sisters, difficult times call for inspirational, visionary leadership. We do not have that in Dr. Kit Mitchell. What we have is a dictator who is arrogant.
The political leader says with unity within the country and government, we can fix this. Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
The current leadership of the National Democratic Congress views the government's insistence that it can't afford to pay public servants their 4% increase as unacceptable. The comments following Prime Minister Keith Mitchell's national address last Wednesday.
Workers of Grenada, the NDC fully understands why you do not trust the Prime Minister.
Responding to the Prime Minister's address last Wednesday, acting political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Adrian Thomas, says the Prime Minister and his government are reckless in dealing with a 4% increase for public workers.
Like his Minister of Education, he arrogantly says to the workers, "You will get it when we have it." It is unacceptable, untrustworthy for the Prime Minister to look at our workers in the faces and say to them he has no money to pay them. He has found over $200 million to pay Grenlec judgment, which was a complete unnecessary debt. He has found a way to secure the loan of over $100 million for the airport. He has found over $30 million to spend on traffic lights that we don't need for now.
The acting political leader says the Prime Minister should lead by example instead of urging people to do so.
During the address, the Prime Minister asked the question, are we willing to sacrifice the desires of a few at the expense of the many? We ask him the question, why were you and Gregory Bowen willing to sacrifice a hateful vendetta at the expense of the economic ruin of the whole nation? Brothers and sisters, the Prime Minister urged the union leaders to lead by example. The question is he taking his own advice? Why not lead by example in these challenging times by being truthful with our people? How about leading by example by stop hiring party hawks for thousands of dollars? How about leading by example by placing greater emphasis on agriculture and related sectors?
He had this message for public officers.
Teachers, police officers, public workers, stand firm and unite together. Let no one bully and intimidate you. Let no one take away your constitutional rights to assemble and protest until you are paid what is rightfully yours.
Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
MTV understands the Grenada Union of Teachers is planning what they term the mother of all marches tomorrow, Wednesday, as they continue to protest action for the 4% salary increase. It's official. The Antigua Commercial Bank has officially taken over operations at the once Republic Bank of Canada. But customers remain unhappy as the change has affected the service at the bank, where workers continue to engage in protest action. Irate customers are calling for the government's speedy intervention. Meanwhile, President of the Technical and Allied Workers Union, Andre Lewis, has sent a stern message to the Antiguans not to get involved in industrial-related matters in Grenada.
Antigua Commercial Bank Caribbean has officially begun its operations in Grenada. The RBTT sign was removed and replaced over the Easter weekend. On Tuesday, an Antigua bank official was seen in uniform perusing the compound. However, the workers continued in their struggle against the former owners, Republic Bank of Canada, who has seemingly left the island without resolving the matter. The workers were seen outside for yet another day in protest due to unresolved matters with the former owners. Customers stood outside the bank for hours as they waited to be attended to. MTV understands that 2 cashiers were operating, which contributed to the long lines and staggered customers' attendance. One irate customer told MTV while he got attended to, he is not satisfied with the process and is disappointed with the RBC and how the workers were treated. He says if the workers continue to be vastly affected, he will look to another financial institution.
And I think other Grenadians need to take a stand for this. And I appeal to the Prime Minister and the government of Grenada to call RBTT, if you could, back to the table, or RBC, and have this issue settled, because your Minister of Labour, who represents the government and people of Grenada, said that the workers and the union is right. How could you allow them to run away?
Union representing the workers, the Technical and Allied Workers Union, President Andre Lewis says the struggle will continue until the matter is resolved.
The workers are outside, ready to work, willing to work, but wants the matter of the severance to be settled first, in keeping with the recommendation of the Minister for Labour and the Labour Commissioner. And that's what we are doing.
Lewis further stated that the RBC reached out to the union on the matter, but there seems to be no end in sight.
Over the weekend, there were communication between the union and RBC, working with a view to try to resolve the matter. Correspondence have been exchanged with a view to arriving at a compromise position that can resolve the matter. We are remaining hopeful.
The union president is sending a message to Antiguans to not get involved in industry-related matters in Grenada.
It is not wise for workers to try to replace striking workers. So to my colleagues in Antigua, my comrades and colleagues in Antigua, that represents our comrades in Antigua, it is important for you to be aware of that and to not allow our Antiguan brothers and sisters to expose themselves to the industrial challenges in Grenada at a time like now.
For MTV News, Risha Bain.
Still to come, farmers continue to lose produce to stray animals. Stay with us.
The first segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with GUT Cooperative Credit Union. It's where you belong.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Dreaming of taking a break and escaping to an idyllic, happy place? Well, finding it does not require you to go too far. You already live in paradise. All it takes is for you to go out and discover it. Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique are blessed with a wide variety of accommodation that satisfy any taste and budget. Find the one that suits you and your family and treat yourself while having peace of mind that your health and safety is a priority. Knowing that we have gorgeous waterfalls, stunning beaches, and flavorful cuisine, let's be tourists in our own islands and enjoy paradise at home.
Visit www.puregrenada.com/deals to choose your amazing experience today.
It's another exciting promotion, Vitamalt Golden Vault Promotion, which kicks off from Friday, March 5th and runs till Friday, April 30th. To enter in the Vitamalt Golden Vault Promotion, place 4 gold Vitamalt crowns with contact information in an envelope and deposit in Mac redemption boxes and win a staycation at La Luna, $1,000 grocery shopping spree, a tablet, a 55-inch smart TV. You can win $1,000 cash, a year's supply of Vitamalt, a laptop, and a 65-inch smart TV with surround sound. So get your drink on and win in the Vitamalt Golden Vault Promotion. Vitamalt, vitalize naturally.
Peace of mind comes from knowing that your family is safe and financially secure. For your peace of mind and theirs, plan ahead. Beacon's Rest Easy policy helps you to do just that. Rest Easy is a policy that offers you a payment upon your death or the death of any covered family member that can be used to offset post-mortem expenses. For as little as 75 cents per day, you can ensure that your expenses are covered. Call Beacon at 440-4447 and sign up for the Rest Easy plan today.
Need quality medical service, professional and warm laboratory experience? Tired of waiting days for your lab results to make diagnosis? You have found your solution at Sunrise Diagnostic Center, located at Unit Number 9, New NIS Building, Melville Street, St. George's, and Canal Road, Grenville, St. Andrew, in the hub of the town, catering to your medical needs. Private, accurate, and confidential laboratory service with same-day results. Walk in or schedule your ultrasound with results with 24 to 48 hours. Our opening hours in St. George's are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And on Canal Road, Mondays to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Open on Sundays and public holidays for emergency calls only. 24-hour on-call service is available for emergency laboratory purposes. We meet you where you are, home or office. Special group rates are available. For more information, you can contact us today.
Waggity Virtual Bingo! And the next one's going down on Sunday, April 11th from 6 p.m. Don't believe me? Get a ticket and try it. This time, you can win US $10,000. $10,000! Remember, if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. Tickets are only $10. And for persons playing for the first time, a special discount price awaits you in Grenada. Tickets are available at gotofed.com and from numerous box offices island-wide or at our main office on Bruce Street Mall. If you're overseas, then tickets are only available at gotofed.com. This is the big one, and it's going down Sunday, April 11th. Join all the fun and excitement online. Play Waggity Virtual Bingo. It's the new way to play. Bing, 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 bingo.
The second segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with the Communal Cooperative Credit Union. To grow with us, save with us.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
For your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Welcome back. As predial larceny remains on the rise, more farmers are coming forward requesting intervention from the relevant authorities. With a crop compensation schedule more than 25 years old, the Ministry of Agriculture is coming under some fire to revise and update the values assigned to produce for which farmers need to be compensated. Senator for Agriculture and Fisheries, Roderick Sinclair, addressed the issue of having an outdated schedule. We have more in this report.
Predial larceny is fast becoming a major issue for farmers whose produce are being stolen and sometimes destroyed. The farmers who are entitled to compensation for lost produce based on Grenada's crop compensation schedule are receiving less value for their produce. And according to Senator for Agriculture and Fisheries, Roderick Sinclair, this schedule was last updated in 1995, more than 25 years ago.
When you look at the compensation, the evaluation, since in 1995, these crops was valued. I was looking at the schedule a few weeks ago, and when you look at how crops have been valued based on damages that may have taken place, it's little or nothing. We know 1995, 2005, 2000, that's almost 25 years.
Sinclair went on to speak about the increase in the price of goods over the years.
Things has increased because when you're compensating the farmer, of course the law will tell you you need to have a good enough value for his cost that he would have put in. Labor rise, chemicals rise, seed price rise, everything rising.
He said the authorities need to revise this schedule, and this is high on his agenda.
So we need to relook the whole compensation package that farmers get and this is a matter that I have on my agenda to address, so that should a case happen like that for Buenos or other farmers, we can have a more just valuation of the loss.
Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Houston.
Loose cattle destroying farmers' produce is fast becoming one of the top 3 issues farmers are facing. And in St. Andrew, several farmers are expressing their distress over the lack of support they are receiving from the authorities in the Agriculture Division and law enforcement. Senator for Agriculture Roderick Sinclair says there are laws in place that make provision for those loose animals to be impounded. We have more in this report.
According to Senator for Agriculture and Fisheries Roderick Sinclair, farmers and owners of livestock need to ensure that their animals are not trespassing on others' lands.
If we have our livestock as farmers, we have to manage them. We cannot be letting them to roam and loose and be affecting individuals, because that in itself is an offense, right? That in itself is an offense. And it's not like, to me, an animal get away once. It's something that is perpetuating for the last, I would say, maybe almost 2 months going on right now.
Addressing the issue of impounding loose cattle, Sinclair said this too comes at an additional cost to farmers whose produce were destroyed.
What is happening now is that London used to be a pounding site in Pearls, close to the SSU camp. I understand that no longer exists. And the pounding site for impounding animals is now in the prisons in Richmond Hill. So if I impound the animal, I want to try to impound it, I have to now hire a vehicle. And this is the challenge the farmers have again, you know. Hire a vehicle to take a cow or a goat or whatever it is and carry it, so more cost for the farmer. More cost for the farmer. And then he have to wait and hope that something happens.
Additionally, the senator noted that there is little to nothing happening in the Prairie Larceny department, and farmers are becoming more upset.
Prairie Larceny is a big issue that I really think that nothing is happening in Prairie Larceny. Nothing. You know, I understand I was speaking to a farmer only Sunday night. He said, man, they are stealing his clove, and the way they are stealing it now, they are damaging all the branches, so that is another problem. So, but I know there are meetings taking place between the ministry and the police, but we're not seeing the results. The only results I'm seeing is farmers crying out that they are losing more and more of their crops.
He says the government needs to understand the role that they need to play to help farmers, as this is their livelihood. Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Houston.
Taxi operators are pleased that one of Grenada's leading hotels, Sanders Resorts Grenada, has resumed operations, welcoming guests last Wednesday, and more are expected to arrive in the coming months. The Taxi Association was hardest hit by the impact of the pandemic on the tourism sector, and according to the president of the Grenada Taxi Association, Cosmos Williams, Sanders reopening their doors to visitors is good news.
Well, the taxi drivers, they carry them when they come on the airport, they carry them to the hotel. Then after that, they will do little tours, carry them for, if they want a dinner, they'll carry them out. And again, now, this thing is for the whole economy. You have to picture yourself as a farmer in, let's say, in Mount Horn, and your cabbage, your lettuce, your tomato, let's say your vegetables, and you couldn't sell it. And you have a little business with Sanders, no Sanders open, you have bread on the table. So it's a win-win for all of us. And as I say, we just have to, the guests and us, just do the right protocol. And we're going to survive.
He says even as the hotel sector reopens, they will continue to be vigilant and implement the protocols at all times, including the training they receive from stakeholders in the tourism industry.
Well, the protocols, your face mask, your sanitizing, your hand washing, social distancing, and this thing is here to stay for a while. It's continually, and we got trained by the health department, the tourism authority, and we're training ourselves on each other. Because every day that's a pet talk. And once it's like get up in the morning, sun, rain, that's the talk. And it's continually, and we have to be alert.
He says, however, they are awaiting the reopening of the cruise ship industry, as it has been over a year since cruise ship taxi operators have not been generating any income. One local pastor says, although there are mixed reviews on the vaccine by pastors and church leaders, he believes that the members of the public, including those within the church community, reserve the right to choose to be vaccinated, even though the vaccine promises a possible return to normalcy. Even as the population anticipates a return to normalcy, there continues to be a sense of hesitancy with regards to being vaccinated in all strata of society, including members of the church community. President of the Alliance of Evangelical Churches, Pastor Devon Rache, speaking to MTV News on Thursday, says although there are mixed reviews amongst pastors regarding the vaccine, though some have already received their first dose and others have not, it is within their right to choose.
Right. So in terms of the feedback from pastors, generally there's, as in everything else, there's mixed feedback. There are a lot of pastors who are already vaccinated, and those pastors have certainly done this. Some of their family members have done this. And there are some pastors who aren't yet vaccinated, and there are some pastors who may never be vaccinated. And ultimately, again, our position is that this is people's free will to choose to be vaccinated or not to be vaccinated, and should always be people's free will.
Although churches are hopeful that things will return to normal before the pandemic and vaccination presents that opportunity, it should not be mandatory, Rache says.
We have been praying. We have been praying and trusting God that through some way, some mechanism, we'll be able to return to some sense of normalcy where we'll be able to worship as we were worshiping prior to COVID. I know some people have been speaking about the new normal, whether anything will ever be as it was prior to COVID. And so for us, the most important thing concerning vaccination is that persons are allowed the opportunity to make their free choice of taking the vaccine or not.
He believes that the church will someday return to some of the traditional aspects of worship, including a continuation of some of the existing practices that the COVID-19 protocols require.
In reality, this is what is expected of churches, the freedom of religious practice, the freedom of religious expression. For many of us, the laying of hands is one of the things that is commanded in the Bible that we do. And I know some churches for some time have held back from doing this because of the health concerns and so forth. So there are some things that will certainly have to return to normal. There are other things that I think may remain. For example, I could see a lot of the sanitization that is happening now in church, but not just in church, and the washing of hands. I could see that continuing even after this period because it is just good in terms of health generally.
Many traditional practices in various churches and denominations had to be temporarily suspended or adjusted during the pandemic, including communion and feet washing, mass congregating and collective prayer, laying of hands, baptism, weddings and funerals. Bishop Clyde Harvey, Bishop of the Catholic Church in St. George, recently took the COVID-19 vaccine and is calling for people to learn more about the vaccine. Bishop Harvey says misinformation on the vaccine is one of the reasons people are not taking the vaccine, including the misinformation about the vaccines being the mark of the beast. We have more in this report.
The vaccine has become a real source of concern all over. And whereas everybody thought, I think in the beginning, that once we get a vaccine, everybody's going to rush to take the vaccine, what we've seen is that people are divided. There is no clear sense that the vaccine is what we have to take.
It was all smiles for Bishop Clyde Harvey as he joins thousands of other Grenadians who have taken the COVID-19 vaccines. However, with all the misinformation on the vaccines playing on the mind of people throughout the world, the bishop says people must first understand that the vaccine is not a cure. However, the bishop spoke of the benefits of taking the vaccine.
What it does, what everybody agrees on, is that the vaccine is supposed to stop you from getting very sick. Okay? But we are all guinea pigs in this, and this is where I said to myself, if the rest of the world is going to be guinea pig, and if I can help people to take the vaccine by my example, okay, because what Pope Francis says is that taking the vaccine can be an act of charity, because if you are helping, and that's in two ways. One, if you yourself don't get too sick, if you do get the virus, then that means that you're not going to be causing other people to get sick.
The bishop says the mark of the beast is not just a vaccine or what's in it. He says our main focus should be on the real problems throughout this country, including social issues and not the misinformation.
You know, there are people who use religion to scare people. There is nothing that I know of that tells me that the mark of the beast is a vaccine. And when you know the history of humanity, particularly the history of this post-Christian era, this AD, as we call it, in the year of our Lord, from the time the Bible was written, people have been saying the end of the world is coming. The mark of the beast is this, the mark of the beast is that, right? A fella buys a car marked with the number, the plate 666. And people say, oh God, that is the mark of the beast, he's the beast. Come on. When we read the book of Revelation especially, we realize that a lot of what is there refers to a particular time and place.
Bishop Clyde Harvey took his first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine on March 24, 2021. He says he had side effects, however, it only lasted 2 days, and he's ready for his second jab when the time comes. Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
Still to come, regional news and sports after the break.
The second segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with the Communal Cooperative Credit Union. To grow with us, save with us.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
For your education.
for your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
We promised you, and now it's time to deliver. St. Louis UPVC is finally open for business. Look for the blue building marked St. Louis UPVC number 21 Frequenter Industrial Park. At St. Louis UPVC, we manufacture durable push-up windows, sliding windows, projected windows, and casement windows. You can also purchase sliding doors. Our products are manufactured with up to half-inch impact glass, with 21 different types of glass to choose from. Windows can be customized to your specifications. Free delivery island-wide. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Feel free to call us at 439-6538 for more information.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Ricky's Bobcat and Waste Disposal Services cleans, disinfects, and repairs septic tanks, grease traps, and drains. They also repair pipes and rent portable toilets. Professionals with more than 25 years' experience. So don't hesitate to call them when you have a problem. 443-2809 or 420-5069. They offer 24-hour service. Ricky's Bobcat and Waste Disposal Services. With God, all things are possible. They can move mountains.
It's another exciting promotion. Vitamalt Golden Vault promotion, which kicks off from Friday, March 5th and runs till Friday, April 30th. To enter in the Vitamalt Golden Vault promotion, place 4 gold Vitamalt crowns with contact information in an envelope and deposit in Mac redemption boxes and win a staycation at La Luna, $1,000 grocery shopping spree, a tablet, a 55-inch smart TV. You can win $1,000 cash, a year's supply of Vitamalt, a laptop, and a 65-inch smart TV with surround sound. So get your drink on and win in the Vitamalt Golden Vault promotion. Vitamalt, vitalize naturally.
Good morning, Grenlec Meter Reader.
Morning, Mr. Meterman. I'm glad I caught you. Last month, I got a very high bill, and I don't understand why.
Last month, we were not able to access your meter, so we had to estimate the bill. This will happen if we don't get an actual reading.
So, what can I do to ensure that my meter is easily accessible?
Well, you can get your licensed electrician to move your meter outside of the gate or directly in front of the house. That way, I'll have easy access and I won't have to deal with your dog.
Ah, Butch.
Yes, dogs can be a problem sometimes. On one occasion, I was attacked by a dog and police had to get involved. Customers who don't want to cage or tie their dogs should really move their meter and make it easily accessible.
Well, I'll consider that.
Thank you.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
The third segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with Arizo Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
The safety and security of your information is always important to us. Ariza now offers chip cards, also known as EMV cards, which provide enhanced security for your purchases and are globally accepted. The new Ariza Credit Union Visa International Debit Card continues to have the traditional magnetic stripe with the additional security feature of a chip and can now be used at both chip and traditional magnetic stripe terminals. For your added protection, always keep your PIN private and store your chip card safely in a RFID pouch. Visit arizacu.com to learn more on how to protect your account information. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Trinidadian leader tests positive for COVID-19. This and more in the regional roundup with Josanne Mackey-Smith.
Good evening. With the regional roundup, I am Josanne Mackey-Smith. Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, has tested positive for COVID-19. According to Loop News, the diagnosis came mere hours before the Prime Minister was set to receive his first COVID-19 vaccine dose. According to the Office of the Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley began experiencing flu-like symptoms yesterday evening. Dr. Rowley is in isolation and is under medical supervision. The government of Barbados has received an additional 33,600 Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines, which have been provided through the COVAX facility. India donated 100,000 doses of the Covishield vaccine to Barbados in February. This allowed the government to quickly roll out its inoculation program to fight the novel coronavirus COVID-19. The first phase of Barbados' COVID-19 national vaccination program was completed at the end of March, and the second phase is scheduled to start on April 17. In St. Vincent, residents and communities close to La Soufrière volcano continue to keep a close eye on volcanic activities after a new swarm of volcano-tectonic earthquakes began on Monday. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said the numbers and magnitude of these earthquakes increased until about 8:30 a.m., after which they continued at a fairly steady rate. It says this swarm of earthquakes have been located at a depth around 6 kilometers below the summit of La Soufrière. This is slightly deeper than the volcano tectonic earthquake activities recorded between the 22nd and the 25th of March, which were located at depth from 3 to 5 kilometers below the summit. NEMO has not issued any evacuation notice. However, the alert level remains at orange, and residents are being encouraged to be prepared in the event that it becomes necessary to evacuate at short notice. And the murder trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin entered its 7th day in the U.S. Minneapolis Police Department Training Officer Sergeant Ke Yang took the stand this morning. He said Mr. Chauvin's training in crisis intervention was designed for practical application in the field. Chauvin faces 2 counts of murder and 1 count of manslaughter in the death of George Floyd last May. He has denied the charges against him. Footage of Chauvin, who is white, kneeling on African-American Mr. Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes last year sparked global protest against racism. And that's a look at your regional and international developments. I am Joseph McKee-Smith.
More news after the break.
The third segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
Sports is next.
Holy Natural Spring Water is a water for every occasion. On the field of sports, at your workplace, just open the bottle and savor the pure, refreshing taste. Holy Natural Spring Water is produced in Mama Can St. Andrews and is available in all sizes nationwide. To order, telephone 444-7654 or 533-7654. Holy Natural Spring Water, Grenada's purest bottled water.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055. WhatsApp 409-0055 or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
In every line, you must have Wester Hall rum. With a limited offer, you can enjoy our most popular mixes. Coca-Cola and number 7 in our 250 ml bottles for only $12. And Schweppes Ginger Ale and number 3 in our 250 ml bottles for only $10. Enjoy the perfect mix. Available at participating shops island-wide. What's your number? Drink responsibly.
Waggity Virtual Bingo! And the next one's going down on Sunday, April 11th from 6 p.m. Don't believe me? Get a ticket and try it. This time, you can win US $10,000. $10,000! Remember, if you you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. Tickets are only $10. And for persons playing for the first time, a special discount price awaits you. In Grenada, tickets are available at gotofed.com and from numerous box offices island-wide or at our main office on Grove Street Mall. If you're overseas, then tickets are only available at gotofed.com. This is the big one, and it's going down Sunday, April 11th. Join all the fun and excitement online. Play Waggity Virtual Bingo. It's the new way to play. Bingo.
Coming up in sports, World Table Tennis Day observed today. Stay with us.
Caribe Tropical Hard Cider, made from apples and champagne yeast, appealing to the very core. Caribe Tropical Hard Cider, gluten-free, available in original and pineapple.
Now we have the sporting highlights.
Good evening, sporting fans. Table tennis is not only a matter of competition, it is also a vehicle for positive social change, healthy, worthwhile use of leisure time, and an opportunity to bring people together, an excellent tool for social inclusion. World Table Tennis Day is celebrated on the 6th of April every year. The Grenada Table Tennis Association celebrated World Tennis Day with competitions at the PW building. Speaking on the GIS Spice Morning Show on Tuesday, President of the Grenada Table Tennis Association, Dr. Alistair Antwine, said table tennis is only popular in some spots in Grenada.
Right now it is more popular maybe on the western side. At one time, years ago, it used to be very popular in the southern side, in St. George's in particular in the days, especially with the boys from GBSS, and there are still some boys from GBSS who still currently play table tennis. But today we want to just inform people, today is World Table Tennis Day, and it's a time when we just want to focus on the sport, we want to promote it, we want to get more people enthusiastic and interested in playing table tennis.
The Assistant Secretary of Grenada Table Tennis Association, Alison Green, said she wants to see more females playing table tennis in Grenada.
Because I remember many years ago when I played, we had so many ladies playing and there was so much competition. There are girls playing now, but not as before. So we're going to focus on that because table tennis is a family game. Be inspired. It has a lot of benefits, and you don't have to be so physically fit to play it. You can play it and play it at your level, wherever you are.
St. Lucia being unable to participate in the CONCACAF FIFA World Cup qualifiers has been described as heartbreaking by Prime Minister Alan Chastanet. During a March 26th press conference, President of the St. Lucia Footballers Association, Lyndon Cooper, confirmed St. Lucia will not be participating in the competition. According to the SLFA president, training facilities were not available for the national team due to COVID-19 protocols coupled with the inability to meet the required financial obligations. The government of St. Lucia distanced itself from the move and claimed that no request was made by the SLFA to the Ministry of Health to allow players to prepare for the competition. On Thursday, Prime Minister Alan Chastanet expressed disappointment in the SLFA, declaring that government would have no reservation in providing support to the team, be it financial or otherwise. "I am heartbroken," Chastanet declared. Chief Executive Johnny Grave has defended Cricket West Indies' treatment of territorial boards, contending the governing body had been equitable in its allocation of international fixtures and financial resources, noting CWI was never cognizant about accusations of partiality towards certain territories. Graves said it was the board's stated philosophy by way of policy to ensure insularity was removed from the regional game. It's a philosophy that we try to have. That's why we took the view, certainly pre-COVID, to ensure that every international ground or every territory that had international cricket would have at least had a test match or 2 white ball games, and we would spread our cricket around the region, trying to take any accusation of politics out of how we play cricket, the Englishman explained. North Korea became the first country to drop out of the Tokyo Olympics because of the coronavirus fears, a decision that underscores the challenges facing Japan as it struggles to stage a global sporting event amid a raging pandemic. A website run by North Korea's Sports Ministry said its National Olympic Committee during a meeting on March 25th decided not to participate in the Games to protect athletes from the world public health crisis caused by COVID-19. The pandemic has already pushed back the Tokyo Games, which were originally scheduled for 2020, and organizers have scrambled to put in place preventative measures such as banning international spectators to ensure the safety of athletes and residents. And that has brought us to the end of MTV's Evening Sports. I am Rachel Bain.
That was sports. After the break, we take a look at the public forecast and a recap of the headlines.
MTV Weather is brought to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
For convenience, bill payments can be made at Bill Express at Western Union. Many of these are open until 6 p.m., including Saturdays. A 24-hour check drop box is also available at Grenlec's customer care centers at Grand Anse and Bruce Street.
After the long weekend, back with the nighttime weather forecast and meteorologist Dwayne Williams. Good evening to you viewers. Fair conditions dominated the weather throughout the entire eastern and the southern Caribbean, while some cloudiness associated with a weak surface trough brought some cloudiness and some showers to the Dominican Republic. We do have a slight haze that has rolled in, bringing conditions look more partly sunny. This haze would continue over the next 4 or 5 days. Shallow patches of moisture to contend with here in the extreme southern Caribbean. We're going to see some showers during the early part of the night, and conditions would be generally fair from then onwards. That is the forecast for Tuesday night. Generally fair conditions, just a few brief showers. They wouldn't last very long at all. Minimum temperature 23. Winds easterly between 10 and 22 miles per hour. Partly sunny and hazy conditions on Wednesday. The winds would continue being gusty. No significant chance of rain. East northeasterly to easterly winds 12 to 24 miles per hour would continue to blow across the region. Seas will be moderate, 5 to 7 foot waves in open waters. Sunrise 5:57, sunset 6:18. A high of 32 will feel like 35 on Wednesday. UV index very high. The nighttime in 24. Moonrise is in the early morning 3:08. The moon sets in the mid afternoon at 2:59. Sunshine in Port of Spain and Bridgetown, but some slight haze there also. Partly cloudy in Kingston. Miami is going to be sunny. New York partly cloudy. It's warming up there a bit. 20 is the expected high. Sunshine in London. Stable conditions will bring generally fair, hazy and windy conditions over the eastern Caribbean for the next 5 days. Starts from Thursday onwards through to the weekend. If we do see any showers, they will be very, very brief and very light, and mostly in the nighttime. That's it for me for Tuesday night, folks. Remember, you can join me again right here on Wednesday.
MTV Weather was brought to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
And now for a recap of the headlines. More than 30 arrested over Easter holiday. One man remains hospitalized after accident in St. John. Antigua Commercial Bank officially begins operations amid industrial protests. And in sports, call for more female table tennis players as Grenada celebrates World Table Tennis Day. Thank you for viewing. I'm Troy Gill. Good night.
For news and information 24/7, visit MTV News GD on Facebook. Have a news tip? Call MTV Newsroom 440-8442. Email mtvnews3@gmail.com. A production of MTV Newsroom, the national newsroom. News you can trust.